talk about
time to be a toxic male in my privileged position of power.
Yeah, as I think right now we're 3 episodes in, so I'm gonna give a quick summary of.
If this was, I would say this: if this is a 3-episode rule, I would have been dropped this show. The only reason why I'm continuing to watch this show is 1, for the podcast content, and 2, because regardless of quality, I have watched every single Disney Plus MCU TV show.
And I feel bad for Cam because I think I took literally 3 series off. I took 3 series off, so it's like, and the reason why I'm watching She-Hulk is because I'm a fan. I'm
back to back mid.
It is what it is. But quick summary of what happened these past 3 episodes. First episode, of course, we learned that she becomes Hulk. Of course, how they kind of switched it up, but I'm not mad at how they did.
How did it happen in the original?
So the original story is that she was in the hospital and she needed a blood transfusion, and she was in the hospital for some reason, and pretty much her and Bruce had a blood transfusion. Bruce didn't expect her to turn into a Hulk, but it did, and pretty much that's how it happened. It kind of it was like she was in the hospital with something dying and Hulk blood.
You did say she's the only person in the entire known world of 8+ billion people. The only person who could give her reliable blood for a transfusion was Hulk.
Everybody in the fair walk-through family, that's the only one that saved you. Okay,
it's the only one. Honestly, I think I'm glad that they went with the one in the show, because that it makes more sense that in that moment the blood just went into her accidentally versus. Because that hospital shit is dumb. It's just dumb.
I think her character was in the 80s, someone say early 80s, I believe. So anyway, her and Bruce got into a car accident. A spaceship magically appears. So Hulk lore, they're trying to do something Hulk lore related, but that magically appears. They get into an accident. Bruce is bleeding all over the place. And Jen had a scar. Hulk bleed. Bruce's blood leaks into her. I know this sounds nasty as hell. That sounds fucked up, but leaks into her. She gets gamma radiation. She hulks up, disappears. Then they link up, but no. So she ends up at some random town.
No, skip it. Just gets corny shit. Let's just super summarize it. She becomes Hulk. She gets training. She goes back to the law office. Episode 2, she gets recruited to take on the Abomination case. And then she talks to Bruce about it. Bruce is like, I don't give a fuck. Do it. And boom. Episode 3. Yeah, he's out in space. Who cares? Marvel doesn't care, so I don't care. And then episode 3 is the actual trial of the Abomination. And they have a side B plot that's lame as fuck. Shout out to Meg, but that side plot was absolute garbage. And then She-Hulk and Meg twerks. I have no problem with that, but everything surrounding that was lame. Those are the first 3 episodes of She-Hulk. Now let's start with the positives. Chris, give your positives. I'm gonna let you speak.
So my positives. It's not that many. I will say this, and I will say the positives is that, and it's more along Bruce related shit, they are somewhat teasing that, we might get a World War Hulk movie or series.
That shit's so fucking lame. No, I'm sorry. I'm not even gonna talk about this shit. Why everything gotta be a fucking tease?
Because you're watching a commercial. You're watching a commercial.
6 years from now, 6 years from now, when we in phase 14 and we already exhausted every villain to be a sad father of some sort, we're gonna have Hulk get angry. Hulk don't even have his bitch. Where's his bitch at? Where's his kids at? We're gonna water
Universal
down Hulk
Studios.
beating the shit out of. Where's Iron Man? Where's the Illuminati who said, hey, look, we gotta send this nigga to the people who decided to send that nigga to space in the first place because of that shit?
I know, because the funny thing is now he's going to space willingly.
Yeah, he went to space by himself.
You gotta remember, after Ultron.
Shit, lame, bro.
I know, but
he's trying to go. It's like a Second Harvest. Shout out to Angry Joe Show. It's like Second Harvest, right? Where animals in survival situations, animals go through like piles of shit, and they sort through the shit to find out little pieces of like corn or nuggets that's still good for them to consume.
Disgusting.
That's what he's doing right now to find the positives for She-Hulk. So exactly. I'm gonna let you cook.
So, like, that's the positive, is that at least they're trying to do something with Bruce. Oh, by the way, he's Bruce until
he's no longer Hulk. The man's name is Bruce.
And Hulk, he's not Professor Hulk. That is Bruce until further notice. So that's when they showed the Shakar ship just magically appear, and also Hulk being aware of it, it just means like, okay, the shit he was doing before Ragnarok, he clearly knows what the fuck going on and why they on his ass for some reason. And then him going to space as well to see what's going on about it is interesting as well. So that's more of a positive to me in terms of like they're trying to do something with Hulk. But at the same time, does that have anything to do with She-Hulk itself? Not really. The positive is the fact, and the best positive was that post-credit scene, episode 3, and that involved Meg styling herself. And literally, all I'm saying is you niggas is weird because you niggas, and niggas call Meg, I'm just gonna get this right now. Y'all niggas call Meg a mammy. Now, I don't know if you niggas know what a mammy is because
that's insane.
That is a wild accusation, bro.
That shit's insane.
And me not to sit there and give that nigga a Twitter think piece because I'm like, bro, I know what that is. Y'all, Tom and Jerry had a mammy.
Yeah.
The black maid on Tom and Jerry was a mammy, G. Aunt Jemima was a mammy. That's why it's literally Pearl Milling now, fucking nigga. I took a college course on racist symbolism.
Yeah.
I know what these are. Meg shaking ass is her playing herself.
Yeah.
I don't know what y'all wanted her to do. Beat niggas ass?
Hey, it was something I was like, it was something I was like, when somebody was talking about like how, and I'll talk about my gripe after Cam flamed this show, but it was something, and it just with that one episode of something that they showed, but it was something like folks was like, you know, they were showing how they was empowering. This show was about empowering, and who else to have empowering to make the style. I'm like, she just shaking ass. Like I ain't got no problem man shaking ass. This not
and at post 2022 where we already accept women doing what they want with their bodies is nothing special.
Technically, you know, some laws ain't nothing to happen. But like we I don't give a fuck if she shaking her ass. Like I don't give a fuck. Like she shaking her ass. We don't say like this is a women power moment. Really, it's just two niggas was in a room literally saying, let's have an episode with
Meg. Hey Meg, you want to twerk? She's like, boom.
Yeah.
I feel sorry for them. I feel sorry for them CGI workers though.
That shit was so fucking bad, bro.
That shit.
I don't care what nobody said. That was some of the worst.
That twerking animation. That shit. That was you overworked us. So this is a fuck you to Disney and Marvel.
Bro, that shit was so bad, bro. So bad, bro. Somebody need to get talked to off that, bro.
They overworked the studios. It's not on them. The executives literally overwork these CGI studios. They are treated poorly. I feel like what they're doing with She-Hulk is a middle finger. They're basically going like, you know what? We gonna give you subpar work. We're gonna give you bad work. Since you want to mistreat us and not give us our fair workers' compensation, we gonna show you what She-Hulk. Because some people were saying that like with episode 1, like, oh, the CGI is not that bad, but the CGI is terrible in that show. I'm sorry, it's terrible. It's bad.
Period. What we defending?
CGI is terrible, bro. It's terrible. For as much money as the MCU makes, and how much of a fucking juggernaut that whole cinematic universe is, that CGI is terrible.
Yeah.
Fucking nasty.
I can't defend it. And like it's noticeably bad because the main character is CGI at least 67% of the show. so it's noticeable as hell.
Yes.
And it's like you can't avoid it because it's moments where it looks okay, and okay is the best. And then sometimes it's like, damn, this is so fucking
That GTA tweet.
That shit look like GTA had me a little bit in tears. I'm like, bro, I don't know what GTA I'll play. GTA a little bit better than this. I don't know what y'all.
Look good, but it's I let it pass. But yeah, but that was the positives. Like it was like yeah. Oh, shout out to Abomination, finessing his case too. Shout out to that. So.
That whole sequence of event. All right. Warning, trigger alert. You go ahead, call me a misogynistic pig, anti-feminist, whatever you want to call it.
We gonna slowly get him the fuck out of here.
You know what I'm saying? Just because I'm about to say I don't like a show. Now, like I said, I am in a different perspective. Chris hasn't watched every single Disney Plus MCU TV show. I have watched while it was airing, so I didn't. There was no like me watching a whole bunch of episodes in a row. While the shows were airing concurrently, I was keeping up to date and watching every single Disney Plus MCU TV show to date. When I tell you that the first one, WandaVision, is still the best, and it is at a 7 out of 10, and no other Disney Plus TV show has even come close to that ranking, with the exception of like the early parts of Loki, but then that shit got bad when it got towards the finale. Like literally, Disney Plus MCU TV shows have been mid to below average garbage, and I can confidently say this, that She-Hulk had the worst premiere episode I have ever seen in Disney Plus MCU TV show. The worst. You would expect me to say that with Miss Marvel, but Miss Marvel at the end kind of had me going like, this is cliche and generic as hell, but it's not as bad as I thought it was going to be, and I'm curious to see where this leads up to. When I tell you I don't care what the fuck is happening in this show, there's nothing of interest happening in this show at all. Even the court case stuff is like non-consequential. I don't care. So like, your big premise, two of the biggest premises of your show is the law stuff that doesn't work, and the fact that it's supposed to be a comedy. And when I tell you I have not laughed at a single joke of this show at all. The jokes of this show fall flat. I'm literally just staring every time I watch it. I'm just staring at this like flat face. Like I don't care about anything that's happening. First episode, and I know a lot of people are gonna say that I might be I'm gonna read my words carefully. That conversation that She-Hulk has with Hulk, and y'all know it because y'all probably seen it all over Twitter, so yes, I have to talk about it too. When she says that like, oh, I've been catcalled, men who tell me how to handle my emotions, blah 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 blah, I can deal with my anger infinitely more better than you, Hulk. And I'm just like, that is some of the most insulting, lame, forced dialogue I have ever seen. Terrible writing, because we understand, right? Here at the Black Otakus of the Culture, we understand. We are empathetic. Empathetic is the right word, right? When you don't experience it, but you still feel for the people who are going through it. I think it's empathetic. If it's empathetic,
it's empathy.
Yeah, empathy.
It's either empathy or sympathy, but it's empathy, I think.
So we are empathetic towards the plight that women have to deal with, because it's some messed up stuff, especially with the stuff that's been happening recently with the body stuff. We understand. But in the context of the MCU, when it comes to Hulk, this man Hulk in the MCU, even though we kind of like bash MCU Hulk, but MCU Hulk has been through some shit. This man has literally been so depressed that he was borderline suicidal and tried to kill himself, but the Hulk said, no, you're not killing yourself. He literally lost control and destroyed an entire African city in Age of Ultron. He lost not only the love of his life, even though that was a stupid subplot, but still he lost the love of his life, Black Widow, And he lost his best friend, Tony Stark. And he lost Captain America within a span of like 2 movies. He had to fight a war with Thanos. And you mean to tell me that all of that stuff that he's been through, and that's not even covering all of the shit that he went through, like the 2 years that he was under Hulk and he went to fucking Asgard or whatever, he had that stuff with Ragnarok, so he didn't even know what the hell was going on for 2 years in his own body. So you mean to tell me all those experiences that Hulk went through, you're telling me that because you've been catcalled and a man tells you some mansplains that is more anger than what the fucking Hulk has been through? Bullshit. Terrible writing. You're trying to push a point and it fucking failed miserably. It would have been another thing if she says that, like, why am I not having control of my anger because I'm doing these things? Because if you read the context of the first episode, Hulk literally he wasn't mansplaining to her. He was literally saying, like, listen, I've been the Hulk for like 10 fucking years. If you lose your anger for a split second, you can do some nasty stuff that you are going to regret. And she's like, I've been catcalled though. Bad. Terrible. The fucking Mary Sue training segment where she already has mastery over all these powers, Star Wars, all this shit. We've seen it so many times. It's like one of those things where I don't want to sound like a men's right activist, but dude, every single MCU female character in Phase 4 has had like no training arc. Kate Bishop, no training arc. Fucking Mighty Thor or She-Thor, whatever, female Thor, whatever you want to call her, right? No, this bitch is literally dying from stage 4 cancer, has been a freaking doctor for her whole life. All of a sudden she grabs the hammer and she's fucking, oh yeah, I'm just a freaking master of the arts. Like every single MCU female character that has been introduced that are replacing old cast members have literally had no training arcs, no character development. They get the power and they're just the best thing ever. Even somewhat better than the main character as well with the Hulk situation. So right off the bat, like it's just, and I don't know if you noticed this, Chris, but I felt like a lot of things in the first episode should have been their own episode. Like I feel like a good solid training arc episode with the Hulk would have been a great like episode in of itself. The backstory about her getting her own powers and coming to terms with the fact that she's now a Hulk would have been a great episode by itself. But you fast forwarded so many stuff in the first episode that it was like I didn't get a chance to compute or go like, okay, well I mean, but okay, well she got okay now she's training, okay now she wants to go back. Now she's in the courtroom and she's fighting Tanya, which they hyped her character up. I don't know if she's coming back. Trash.
Yeah.
What scene was that? That courtroom scene in the first episode? Trash.
And I was saying.
Trash. Literally, she comes into the, who are you? I'm Jen Walters. Punch. And then she walks into her shoes and people are like, oh, that's a moment. I'm like, yeah, it's a moment of trash. And then oh my god, bro, the after credit scenes of these shows are, again, with the exception of the Meg stuff, but the after credit scenes are so bad. The first one's like, oh, Captain America's not oh my god, I didn't know Captain America was a virgin. It's like, oh yeah, Captain America, fuck. And then they end, I was like, bro, who wrote this? Like, shout out to Moist Critical. I was watching this video earlier. It's weird how we've gotten to this tangent, but dude, the MCU needs to stop with comedy at this point. It's just too much. And again, I know all you comic book nerds are going to be like, but She-Hulk is a comedy in the comics. She breaks the fourth wall in the comics. It sucks. It's not done well here. The comedy doesn't work. The fourth wall breaking doesn't work. So let's try something new with her character. And it's crazy how we got, because y'all remember when the initial Marvel versus DC debates were happening, what was the main contention to why people like Marvel better? Is because DC took itself too seriously. That's how it started. It was like DC has all these serious, all this black and white gray is too serious. So people are like, well, Marvel's better because they can have fun with their superheroes. They're funny. But now it's crazy how it's gotten to this point where like now I'm like, dude, you lean too much into not taking things too seriously. Let's have a serious plot line or something happen. that isn't a punchline, because every single thing that they do nowadays is just a setup for a fucking punchline, bro. To the point you just can't. Literally, Thor: Love and Thunder was just punchline after punchline versus punch. You have a stage 4 cancer patient dying in your fucking movie. It is just jokes. It's like, dude, what am I just supposed to like just not take any of your shit that you're happening? Like, I'm almost afraid that the AntMan movie is just gonna be a joke. Like, this is supposed to be like, oh, this is gonna be a major game changer. Like, this is gonna change everything. AntMan Quantumverse is gonna change the whole structure of the MCU universe. And I'm just afraid that, like, is it really? Are you just gonna kill off one character, but the entirety of the movie is gonna be punchlines after punchline? Like, he's gonna meet Kang, he's gonna be like, "Oh, you're the big bad guy. I thought you'd be big. I thought you'd be bigger." Because he's Ant-Man, he's small, and Kang is supposed to be. He's like, "Oh, I thought you'd be bigger."
You already know it's gonna, because Ant-Man himself. Ant-Man was probably, other than like Iron Man with his sarcasm, Ant-Man was probably the first real legit comic relief character when the Avengers thing. So you already know that shit like that. But I remember, you remember back on the phase 1, and you remember Avengers movie. My favorite movie out of all the Avengers movies. It was a threat, a big threat, and there was comedy, but it wasn't overwhelming.
Yeah.
Like, in this sense of this show, it's overwhelming. I just can't do it no more. Oh,
yeah.
Like, my thing is, besides the comedy, like, you niggas are purposely going after that side of the comic book community. Like, purposely.
Yes.
You have an episode dedicated to quote unquote, oh, this is how people see. I'm like, why is we even talking about it? Like, why is we even...
Literally, the first episode is mansplaining, and then you have her being catcalled at a bar. It's
not
like...
even just that. Last episode, it literally involves tweets and YouTube videos.
Oh, yeah, saying that, like, the female Thor, or She-Hulk, and blah, blah, blah.
Movement hashtag. I'm like, cool. Like, I understand what you're trying to do, but I'm like, what do it solve? All you gonna do is get niggas madder. Like, I understand you coming and pointing the finger like, ha, then in the boo boo, stick your head and do. Like, but what the fuck does that even matter? It really don't matter in the show. Like, I understand if herself, it's like, if a whole plot involved motherfuckers, like, being angry at her and things of that nature for her being the top lawyer, but she's a female, it's not even the show that even really focus on her in that aspect of her being the top lawyer in an all-female branch and blah, blah. I mean, an all-male branch and her having to fight. Like, you can create a good female story without it being just, oh, I'm here, so get used to it.
JoJo Part 6.
Yeah.
Literally JoJo Part 6.
You can create, and that's what origin stories are. Origin stories are how that person became a hero, not this person's a hero, deal with it.
No, that's the reverse, though. What they do is, this person has always been a hero. Society just doesn't accept you.
Yeah, like when we think of Spider-Man, we think about how he became a hero is because of what Uncle Ben said. With great power comes great responsibility. If Uncle Ben said that shit, like when you think about him saying that, you think about Spider-Man learned that. Even though I'm strong as heck, even though I'm agile, I'm looking great, I have a responsibility to save this city. It's my I had to grow. I had to mature into learning that it's my responsibility to do this. And that's why I'm looking at, like, bro, like, this shit that y'all doing, like, this not like, it's not an origin story. It's not like people might know who She-Hulk is just because, like, she's probably a little bit more popular in terms of, like, pop culture and stuff like that than some of the other B heroes. But at the end of the day, it's the reason we like her is because she's funny female. And that makes I honestly don't even like how that shit sound coming out of my mouth. So, like, it's just weird to me. It's really weird to me, bro. That's why I don't watch that shit no more, bro. Like, and imagine you, they about to get some nice actors in the MCU, some real pristine actors like Denzel, like my nigga Henry, cause that's my nigga. Okay, well nobody say y'all can call that nigga boring. That's my
No,
nigga.
Henry Cavill is a GOAT when it comes to act. I may hate Superman, but like, I think he's probably like the best live action Superman I've ever seen.
Yeah, like, that's my nigga, bro. But like, what we really like, what we at now is kind of like I don't want to be here.
Yes.
And I don't have to be like I don't watch it. Well, I keep up with it, but I don't really continue like having to watch. It's like Marvel got niggas brains, and you have to consume it, and you have to like it.
That's the part, is because Marvel at this point has become an entity. It's like Dragon Ball. Like how some people say that Dragon Ball transcends anime, and in a sense it does, because it's worldwide, it's global. I'll come back to that later when we talk about some other stuff, because I have a rant for that. But it's global, it transcends. It's the same thing with Marvel. Marvel has become an entity at this point. It's not just comic book shit and like movies. It is a fucking movement at this point. So what comes with that level of clout, what ends up happening is that you have like stuff like with She-Hulk, and it's smart, because you remember you said to each other, like, why do they? There's a reason why they target that specific audience, because when it comes to the discourse, what ends up happening is you don't like this show because you're a misogynist. That's the angle that it goes on. So not only do you have to like the show, but if you don't like this show, you're misogynist. If you don't like Miss Marvel, you're racist. If you don't like Moon Knight, then you have something. You're ableist. You have something against people who suffer from mental disorders. They create that narrative. And I'm not trying to sound like a tinfoil hat people, but that's literally how it goes. If you don't like the show, it's because you're some type of phobic, whatever. It's not because you look at the show and it's like I just don't. And there's some people who don't like the show because female shit, and obviously that's a thing. But like for people like me, it's like, dude, I don't care if she's female, a fucking transformer. I don't care. If a show has bad writing, if it has a bad premise, if it has a bad plot, I'm gonna call it out on it. I don't care. And that's what She-Hulk is. It is a bad show. It is not because she's female. Like I said before, Jolene. If you want a perfect example of a show that focuses on hella female characters and writes them well, Part 6.
Yeah, no cap.
Like, and I'm not gonna be like, well, I hate Part 6 because Geo was technically, but no, Jolene is a fucking dope ass character, and I love her show. I have nothing against female protagonists. I don't want that to be in there. I joke when I say I'm a misogynist because that's how y'all go paint me. But at the end of the day, She-Hulk is a fundamentally bad show, and the reason is because y'all the MCU just at this point it's like it's all about the jokes. You have something like Moon Knight, right? And I'm in my rant with this. You have something like Moon Knight, right? Where Moon Knight had Moon Knight's premise was, and they hyped this up, it was supposed to be a horror show. It's going to be different. It's going to be blood. It's going to be death, blah, blah, blah. In the first episode of Moon Knight, I would say that Moon Knight probably had one of the best premiere episodes of the MCU Disney Plus TV show.
I would say it did, yes.
Because it leaned heavily on the mystery, the intrigue. It dived a little bit into the horror elements. It was like, okay, this is, okay, I'm liking it. And then as soon as they established the whole Mark and Steve identity, like when they were like aware of each other, that's when the show turned into haha buddy cop. I hate you, Steve. I hate you, Mark. Let me have control of the body. No, let me have control of the body. It became a joke. You literally started a good premise of like, oh, this could be something really cool, a direction you could take this show in the MCU when it comes to dealing with the whole mystery horror element that you failed to do in Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness. It could have been cool. But instead, you turned it into a joke. Like everything you do, you just want to set it up for a punchline. And I understand, again, you comic book nerds, that She-Hulk is a comedy in the comics. But what you also have to realize is that just because it works in comics does not mean it translates well to live action. And this is a clear case of that. Where at episode 3, she literally goes like, hey, viewers, I know you guys are like, we're gonna have a Wong cameo here. This show isn't only gonna be about cameos, even though we have Hulk and all this other stuff. And it's like it just failed. I'm just like, dude, this does not work. I understand.
Sorry to cut you off, Cam, but Wong is a positive as well.
Oh yeah, Wong.
Positive.
Wong is a breath of fresh air because like I feel like the actor who plays Wong understands who he is as a character and he owns that. Like he just pops up and goes like, "Hey, I'm here. I'm out." And I can appreciate that. But at this point, like, there's nothing of interest in She-Hulk. Even the Hulk stuff that they're setting up, I don't care about. I don't care. I don't give a shit. You've butchered his character. Like at this, I don't like. What are you gonna do? Are you gonna do the comic storyline where he gets so pissed off they have to lock him up in hell? No, you're not doing that. So like, we're not. Even if we do get real nigga Hulk, we're not really gonna get that shit. So like everything that they set up, like, and I'm done. I'm not looking forward to. At this point, I just don't care. Even the quantum verse shit. Like I was telling you left, Chris, but I was talking to Day Trail about this. I don't even think like people are saying like, oh, this gonna change the MCU based on the screenshots and blah 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 blah. This can't go pull up. It's gonna be nothing but fucking jokes. They're probably gonna kill off one important character, going oh, but the lead up to it is gonna be nothing but jokes. I guarantee you it's gonna be something where AntMan is small and he looks at Kang and he's big and be like, huh, I thought you'd be taller. Like it's trash, bro. Like, at this point, there's nothing that except Spider-Man, because I fucking love Tom Holland and I like what they do with Spider-Man. With the exception of that, that's the only thing in the MCU that I actually give two shits about, that I care about. Other than that, I don't. My nigga, during the multiverse saga, we literally have a show about a fucking side character from Hawkeye. Like, come on, G. Echo, who had like a combined total of like 15 minutes of screenshot time in the entire 6 episodes of Hawkeye. They're like, greenlit her a series on her own, because while Kang is killing and destroying multiverses, we gotta find out what this fucking crime boss is doing in the streets of New York, going up against Kingpin, who got ran over by a car in Hawkeye. That's how he got defeated. He got ran over by a car. Not by Hawkeye, not by Kate Bishop. It was Kate Bishop's mom. Ran him over. That's how he got defeated in Hawkeye.
Daredevil pulled up in She-Hulk yet?
No. But he will, and like I said, I don't care.
Episodes.
Apparently it's supposed to be like 8. Like, this show has more than 6 episodes. That's why I was so mad when I found that out. I was like, oh my god, you mean I have to deal with this shit for more than 6 weeks?
Episodes, and I'm glad these 30 minutes go by quick. So,
bro, it's like this is literally the first thing I watch on Thursdays, just to get it out the way. I watch this show first on Thursday, and then after I watch the show, I watch Yakuza's Guide to Babysitting. Like, immediately after. I have to. Luckily, this Thursday, JoJo also came out too, so I was watching that too. I was like, okay, whoo, got that bad.
I was happy for all the 6 hours on Thursday.
It's so bad. I know I ranted for long enough, but I had to get the time because it's 3. I've been through 3 episodes of mid trash. But ultimately, if you want my opinion, She-Hulk is probably. I think I was saying that like it goes on a downhill trajectory. So like Miss Marvel was the worst, and Scarlet WandaVision was the best. Now She-Hulk is the worst, and WandaVision is the best. I don't see anything of worth watching this show. I wouldn't recommend it. I wouldn't even recommend you go and get Disney Plus just to watch this show. Like, it's not good.
I would even put that on nobody.
You want to watch? Oh man, you want to watch She-Hulk? Why?
Like just buying Disney Plus for one specific series is kind of wow. I'm just gonna be real. Like,
hey, look. I don't even. So I don't see like a mutual. Disney Plus not even downloading on my PlayStation. So
I don't blame you.
I wouldn't even buy Demon Plus. I wouldn't even buy Disney Plus, bro. Disney Plus is for motherfuckers that can't get rid of nostalgia, bro. That's it. Everything on there is nostalgia bait. Mind you, I love some of that nostalgia bait. I think Monsters, the Monsters University show, I forgot what it was called. That shit was fire. Loved it. Kids show loved it. I like the 6 episodes of the Proud Family thing.
That was only 6 episodes? I thought it was gonna be like a series.
I thought it was
I love 6 episodes of it.
6
Or
of
like,
it, but
out of the number of episodes I like, it was like 4 to tell you the truth, but I said 6 to make it seem like a lot.
Oh.
I only like 4 episodes, but I wasn't bad at it. I'm sorry, like none no Disney Plus made me be like, I'll pay $10 a month for this shit. So,
Nothing.
like,
Nothing.
it got a decent catalog, but people don't. It's not a lot of people who run through catalogs.
Yeah.
A lot of people like to see originals and new stuff. That's why Discovery is ruining the best fucking streaming app known to man. And everybody like, what is you
Hey
doing?
guys,
they ruining it. But,
Young Justice. What's that?
I think this is a perfect segue to probably the best thing that's been happening to me on Sundays, other than going to see God at church.
Dragons.